We have a lot to get to for you this morning. Results from all the big races are scrolling on the bottom of your screen right now. First, let's get to that race for president. Donald Trump is now set to return to the White House after being elected in a historic political comeback. Overnight, the new president-elect addressing his supporters in Florida.
I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America.
Trump faced criticism for his dark rhetoric and calls for retribution. Last night, he pledged to help heal the country.
It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try, we have to try, and it's going to happen. Success will bring us together.
Trump campaigned on the top priorities of improving the economy, securing the southern border, boosting energy production, and avoiding conflicts overseas.
I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people.
The former president is performing well in the 7 battleground states, winning Georgia, then Pennsylvania, and finally clinching victory in Wisconsin, putting him over the 270 electoral votes needed to win. ABC News exit polling shows Trump gained critical ground, especially among young men and union households, along with a pivotal surge among Hispanic voters, the biggest showing in exit polls since 1976. We now know we'll be hearing from Vice President Kamala Harris in less than 2 hours. She chose not to address her supporters last night at her campaign headquarters at her alma mater, Howard University in Washington, D.C. Instead, the crowd heard from her campaign spokesperson.
We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow.
And we've just learned Vice President Harris called Trump this morning to concede the race. She is now expected to address the nation around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Look for live coverage of that from ABC News right here on KOMO. A live look right now at our nation's capital. Voters are also deciding on control of Congress. First, to the Senate. Republicans now hold the majority, taking over control from the Democrats by flipping 3 Senate seats so far in Ohio, Montana, and West Virginia, where former Democrat, now independent Joe Manchin did not run for re-election. Republicans now have 52 seats to the Democrats' 43, with the other races still undecided, including a close race still unfolding in Arizona. And control of the House of Representatives is still undecided this morning. Right now, Republicans hold 206 seats, while Democrats have 185. Republicans have flipped 5 seats. Democrats flipped 2. Some key races still undecided are in California, New York, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. 218 seats are needed to win control of the House. And now to the race for governor here in Washington. State Attorney General and Democrat Bob Ferguson has claimed victory over his Republican opponent, Dave Reichert. The Associated Press called that race quickly last night, with Ferguson holding a 12-point lead after 62% of the ballots were counted. Ferguson spoke to supporters at the Convention Center in Seattle last night.
Here's what you can expect from me as your next governor. I will lead a government that protects our core freedoms, that makes the lives of Washingtonians a little bit better, that cuts down on bureaucracy, that gets in the way of serving the people.
Republican challenger Dave Reichert says he is not conceding the race just yet.
We fought a tough battle. It's not over yet, right? No, we're going to wait. You know me from my other campaigns. We are not going to concede this race until the last vote is counted.
The former King County sheriff did admit the numbers don't look good when he spoke to the crowd at the Hyatt in Bellevue last night. With Washington voters electing a new governor in Bob Ferguson, it marks a change in Olympia after 12 years with Jay Inslee as governor. KOMO political analyst Ron Dotzauer joined us this morning and talked about Ferguson's victory.
It wasn't a surprise that he won. He's been leading pretty consistently. I think when this first when this race first unfolded, there was an expectation this race was going to be a pretty close race. That Reichert was a very serious candidate, and he was, but he just got outspent. He kind of got out-hustled, and frankly, ironically, Trump was an albatross because, you know, Harris actually outperformed Biden in Washington State last night. She had a 20-point margin. Biden had a 16-point margin win in Washington State. So Trump was not his friend in Washington State for sure.
Dotzauer also weighed in on President Trump's victory. We asked him what the American people can expect in a second Trump administration.
I don't know that anybody really knows. I mean, it is going to be fascinating. We don't know exactly where he's going to go with the foreign policy, don't know where he's going to go. He's inheriting a pretty good economy. That's the other thing, because, you know, inflation has been dropping. Job market is pretty robust. So he's coming in at a pretty good time. So the handoff in terms of the economic metrics is pretty good.
Dotzauer also added people will be closely watching to see if Trump follows up on his campaign rhetoric that suggested he would punish his enemies. This morning, supporters of both former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are reacting to the results of the vote. KOMO's Theron Zahn spoke with several of them this morning.
A very different reaction depending on whose supporters you talk to this morning, getting their raw reaction at the airport. Many of them hearing for the first time that Donald Trump is now president-elect. Now, if you talk to a supporter of the Vice President, Kamala Harris, they are very surprised, many of them, at the election results, that it doesn't even appear very close, as the polls would indicate. You talk to Donald Trump supporters, and they tell you that they were sure the entire time he was going to win. You were expecting this result?
I was hoping. Yeah, I was hoping. I was hoping people would come to their senses.
What do you think is next for the country?
Good things. I think there's going to be some turmoil and things like that, but I think we just have to trust and hope that the good will win out here over all of the stuff that's been going on. So, yeah, I'm hopeful.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised, unfortunately. I mean, obviously, there's issues with, like, bodily autonomy, but I think bigger than that, honestly, there's issues with just where our economics are going to go.
I didn't vote.
So what are you thinking this morning?
Well, I know a lot of people are very excited, and I also know a lot of people are not so excited. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous. I guess we'll see like what happens the next couple weeks. And
I'm glad that Trump won. Yeah, I think America spoke.
Are you surprised by the results? I mean, he's ahead in the popular vote and in Electoral College.
Yeah, that means he has a mandate.
I think we should all, just try to remain calm, respect each other's opinions, not try to get into like any contentious arguments, because it's not going to do anything. Especially our children, they're well informed of what's going on with the political process.
When he got shot, and I believe God saved his life, I think God saved his life for a reason, and it's to help save our country and enter into the golden age of America.
Talking to voters this morning, a reaction after the fact. Many voters on both sides say they believe the economy was the central factor in the election and its results. But supporters of Vice President Kamala Harris will tell you that they don't believe that Donald Trump's economic policies will benefit the average person, whereas Trump supporters believe that the economy, where it's believed to be in good shape, has not evenly benefited people, and they believe that Donald Trump's policies will improve things for all people across America. Time will tell. Reporting in Seattle, Theron Zahn, KOMO News.
That brings us to this morning's KOMO Pulse poll. We're asking, how do you feel about the 2024 presidential vote? Right now, you can see most people, 54%, say they're not surprised, while 19% say somewhat surprised. 27% of people say they are shocked. If you'd like to add your vote, just point your phone's camera at the QR code there on the side of your screen. It creates a link that takes you directly to the poll at KOMOnews.com. This morning, the stock market is soaring after Trump was declared the presidential winner. The Dow surged more than 1,000 points, up 1,400. Big movers today include Trump media and Tesla stocks. We'll check back on Wall Street's reaction to the election results during our second half hour. This morning, the biggest tax measure in Seattle history is being embraced by voters as they look for major transportation improvements throughout the city. In early results, Seattle Prop 1 is leading by nearly 67%. The ambitious plan includes paving major arterials to reduce pedestrian injuries or deaths, critical maintenance on bridges, and improved bus service.
This is the largest levy the city has ever passed, and this is a huge investment in our streets, our trails, our transit, and our roads and bridges.
One of the concerns from critics, affordability. Prop 1 will add $65 to every $1,000 of a home's assessed value. That means the owner of a median-priced $800,000 home will pay about $520 a year, which is about $250 more than the levy this one replaces. Renters will pay more, too, when landlords pass on those added costs. We'll have more election results for you here in just a few minutes. You can also see the full results scrolling at the bottom of your screen, or check for the full list of state and local races on KOMOnews.com. If you scan that QR code that's on your screen right now, it'll take you there. And if you want to get election alerts sent straight to your phone, just download the free KOMO News app.